want the AAA bond.
How does that affect everyday North Carolinians? What does that mean?
It means to them that they can rely on the fact that the state is taking their responsibility seriously. Citizens can rely on the numbers that are in the financial statements. Businesses will want to come to North Carolina. It helps the economy, which definitely impacts citizens.
Welcome to Let's Add It Up with Auditor Dave Boliek. I am Dave Boliek, the 21st elected state auditor of the state of North Carolina. Welcome to the podcast today. We are with Katina Bell. She goes by Tina, and she leads the Financial Division at the Office of North Carolina State Auditor, a very important position. Tina, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, I am happy to be in your presence. You have worked with the Office of State Auditor now for 30 years.
Yeah, it'll be 30 years this October.
And so very appreciative of all the work that you've done on behalf of the people of North Carolina. But tell people about yourself. Who is Tina Bell?
I'm Tina Bell. Like you said, I've been here for about 30 years. Just a little bit of background about me personally. I graduated from North Carolina Central University.
We got the helmet to show it.
Eagle Pride, back in the, we'll say, 90s. We won't go exact year, but you can do the math. I started at State Auditor's office right out of college. I started actually in our Greenville office with the Financial Division. You know, at that time we had 9 regional offices. We have 4 now.
Wow.
But I started in the Greenville office and worked there for about 5 years.
Okay.
Doing financial audits of universities. My first audit was East Carolina, actually, years ago. First financial statement audit. I audited inventory for the first segment and the first audit that I did. And I worked there for about 5 years. And I worked my way up in that office to about, I think, at ASA 2 at the time, Staff Auditor 2. And then got married. Life happened. Got married, and we wanted to live in the big Raleigh. And so I moved to Raleigh, and it was a smooth transfer to the Raleigh office. And I started working on the state's financial statements when I came to Raleigh, and UNC Chapel Hill, actually.
Yeah, well, that's great. So Financial Division of the State Auditor, when I travel around the state, what I refer to the Financial Division as is the bread and butter of the State Auditor's office, is what we do.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of the work we do there.
Thank you.
When we talk about a financial statement audit, what is a financial statement audit?
A financial statement audit, in real terms, we like to say, is an independent assessment of the financial operations of an entity. We look at the financial statements to determine whether or not they are accurate, complete, whether or not they can be relied on. Are they presented correctly? Ultimately, the financial statements are management's responsibility. They're responsible for ensuring that they have the controls, internal controls, meaning the processes, the procedures to prevent and detect misstatements that could occur in the financial statements. So what we do is we go in and we do an independent assessment of those financial statements to determine whether or not the users ultimately can rely on those statements. For financial statements such as a university, a college, or even the state's financial statements. Users being your creditors. For example, state of North Carolina, we want the AAA bond rating that we've had over the years. We want to continue having that, and a clean opinion helps to achieve that. It helps businesses want to come to North Carolina to know that we have the financial stewardship within this state.
So when we talk about doing the financial statement audits, what are the variety of entities that we audit here at the office?
With the Financial Division and the financial statement audits, a lot of it are what we do is legislatively driven. We do, like I mentioned, the state's financial statements. We also do the audit of the campuses within the university system, and we audit about 40 or so of the community colleges. They're audited every 2 years. And we also do financial statement audits of entities that don't fall under that umbrella. For example, the North Carolina Battleship, Global Transpark, and even North Carolina Partnership for Children as well.
Yeah, and we have the authority here at the Auditor's Office also to do audits on licensing agencies across the state of North Carolina.
Yes.
We have the option to do that, as well as some of the individual agencies in the state of North Carolina.
Us.
Like the Department of Transportation, Department of Environmental Quality.
Exactly.
You mentioned the AAA credit rating of the state of North Carolina, and I often am traveling around the state, and I'll talk to groups about how important it is to have confidence in the financial statements of the state of North Carolina. For that AAA credit rating. How does that affect everyday North Carolinians? What does that mean?
It means to them that they can rely on the fact that the state is taking their responsibility seriously in the financial stewardship of the state's operations, of the public funding. Citizens can rely on the numbers that are in the financial statements. Businesses will want to come to North Carolina. It helps the economy as well, which definitely impacts citizens, especially in today's environment.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this short message about the tip line, which is very important to our office. Pay attention to this message about the tip line and how you can contact the Office of North Carolina State Auditor. If you have something that you think our office should look at with respect to public dollars being spent in your community.
We do everything we can here at the Office of the State Auditor to combat waste, fraud, and abuse in state government, but we can't do it alone. We need people like you to give us tips and information as to where the problems are at. Tips have helped us launch important investigations and allow us to push for accountability and positive change in government. If you have information about waste, fraud, or abuse, please contact our confidential tip line at 1-800-730-8477 or email us at tipline@ncauditor.gov.
Protect your tax dollars by using the Office of State Auditor's tip line today. Welcome back to Let's Add It Up with State Auditor Dave Boliek. I am with Tina Bell, who leads the Financial Division of the North Carolina Office of State Auditor. We've talked about the AAA credit rating of the state of North Carolina. We talked about the reliability and the necessity of the reliability of financial statements across the state of North Carolina and the entities that our office here at the Auditor's Office takes a look at on a routine basis. We do something called the single audit. Tell the listeners and those watching on YouTube, what is the single audit?
Okay. All right. The single audit, general terms, is an audit of the state's federal programs and the expenditures. They call it a single audit because it's not only an audit of the federal programs, but it also includes the audit of the state's financial statements. It's all submitted to the federal government together, and i.e., a single audit. But going back to the federal program or expenses side of the audit, again, it's an independent assessment as to whether or not the state spent the federal dollars that were given to the state in accordance to the program requirements. Program requirements can be whether or not they were paid to eligible participants in a program, whether or not the money or federal money that was given to our state entities was passed down to subrecipients. Did they monitor it in the way that they were supposed to, in accordance to the way the federal government advises you or have you required to do? We also look at payments that were made to beneficiaries. Were those payments, were they documented appropriately? Were they in accordance to what they were supposed to spend on? Allowable. Were they allowable to be spent on those recipients? We look at the cash management in programs to make sure that federal dollars are drawn down in a timely fashion that's advantageous to the state of North Carolina as well. Right. So we look at that for the federal government. That's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And when we first started talking, not to sidetrack just a little bit, but since you mentioned how much work that is, when you think about that, the universities, the colleges, we have a large division.
Yeah.
We have
How
about
many people
60,
do we have on staff?
60 auditors on staff. And while I'm the deputy, I have a great leadership division within the financial division. We have 2 directors, and we have currently 6 senior managers, and we have about 13 managers that manage the teams of about 4 to 5. And we also have regional offices where we have auditors working out of as well.
Wilmington, Greenville, Kernersville, Asheville, and Charlotte. Charlotte's the new one, right?
Yeah, Charlotte's the new one. But we have those regional offices as well.
Well, great. So, a lot of work.
Yes.
A lot of important auditing being done, again, to give people confidence in the way their tax dollars are spent across the state of North Carolina, and confidence in the management of the state agencies that they are, in fact, exercising good, sound financial judgment with the expense of state tax dollars. Is that a good way to say it?
Yes. State tax dollars, federal dollars. We want to ensure that the state continues to receive federal dollars. Those are important programs and services.
As we look to the future, with technology is moving at a very fast pace. Talk a little bit about the technology here at the State Auditor's Office, where we are and where we're headed.
We're actually in the middle of actually implementing new audit software.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all
sorry,
good.
but not sorry, right?
It's all good.
It's a lot of work, but
It is
I
a
think
lot of
we
work
can get
on
to
the
a good
front
place,
end.
right?
Implementing any type of software is going to be a lot of work on the front end. However, it's excited our division. It really has. We put a team of champions together across the office, not just the financial division, but other divisions as well, have a team of champions working to implement that audit software. And it gives you a chance to step back, not only to implement the audit software, but to say, the procedures that we're required to do under auditing standards and government auditing standards, what is really required here? What is the intent of these requirements, and how do we incorporate it into our work and ensure that we're meeting standards in the most efficient way, right? And so that gives us champions while we're implementing this new software to step back and ask those questions.
Yeah, and so do you see the technology being able to help in terms of not only the efficiency, but the workload of individual auditors and giving them more of a breadth of opportunity to really get in and do what they're good at, which is, put their own thinking into and evaluation into particular audits?
Yeah, it opens them to definitely do the critical thinking. To do the critical thinking that's necessary to conduct audits. I would also add that with this new software, it gives us an opportunity to use some of the AI functionality that's going to be included with this software. We're going to have something that's called teammate analytics as well. That's going to give us an opportunity as auditors to take a look at not only the audit that you're working on individually at that time, but you can also run analytics on like entities, to do a risk analysis, to maybe take a look at something that you might come out of that risk analysis that may be applicable to all universities or all colleges or all state agencies. So it's a bigger picture even on that risk side.
So let's talk a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence, big buzzword. I'm not afraid of AI. And I don't think our team is that afraid of it either. I think we're embracing it and understanding that it's coming. And I talk around the state about it. People ask me, is that going to cost people jobs? I actually think it has required us to beef up our staff here. And I think it's given us an opportunity to even bring on more financial professionals when we have the resources to do so, because we can deploy people in a lot of different ways. What are your thoughts on that?
It opens the door to more things that we can look at. Right? It's going to give us an opportunity. Speaking of financial statement audits, the financial statement audits and the audit opinion that we give reasonable assurance, right? No one can audit 100%. You don't give absolute assurance on any audit. But what AI can do is give us an opportunity to maybe look at some things that we weren't necessarily able to do under the financial statement objective. You do that risk analysis, and then you have things that may come up in that risk analysis that may lead to discretionary audits, different performance audits, or different opportunities to look at things that we may not have looked at in the financial statement audit, therefore leading to more opportunities and maybe even more resources to do those things.
Give me some examples of sort of a discretionary. We've talked about P cards, for example, and P card, for those who may not know, a P card is basically a town or an agency credit card. It's the way to use the electronic payment system in order to buy stuff. That's an example?
Yes,
of
that's
sort
a
of
great
an area
example.
That's
a great example. With the P card audits, with the AI, it will give you an opportunity to maybe design what a risk factor may be with the P cards, right? Or looking at dollar values being spent on P cards. P cards have dollar values that your thresholds that you have to operate within. You may be able to run P card analysis across like all the universities, like I said before, and then determine whether or not you may want to do performance audit or some type of a different audit over those P cards. Yeah. That's not necessarily a financial statement audit.
So what would you say to a young person listening who wants to get into auditing or accounting or the financial arena of accountability and transparency? I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you, and you know this because you've heard me talk about it. I go around the state all the time encouraging young people to get into this profession, work at a state auditor's office or at the treasurer's office, get experience. Maybe you'll be Tina Bell down the road, and you'll lead the division. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll spend 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years, and then you'll move on. What would you say to a young person who might be thinking about getting into the auditing arena and what they would want to look at in terms of maybe working at the state auditor's office, or what this profession is all about?
A couple things come to mind. And it's funny you asked that because I actually have a daughter who's actually in the grad program for accounting right now.
Yeah, we're going to
So
hire at the
I'm
state
talking
auditor's
to my
office,
daughter,
Tina.
right? But what would I say? If I was speaking from the perspective of just the audit profession, one of the things that I've always enjoyed about auditing is you have the opportunity to get experience in almost two professions, right? Because you have to understand your audit standards, you have to understand what you're doing to audit an entity, but you also have to understand the accounting side as well to be able to do the audits. So you're actually getting experience in two professions almost, and that makes you extremely marketable. In fact, it's led to us, even at this office, having staff that have gone on to work at some of our entities, to go on and work in private industry because they're getting that gamut of different experiences, not just audit, but the accounting side as well. So that's just makes a strong, developed individual. But speaking specifically with the state auditor's office, in fact, I was speaking to one of our new employees on a 6-month check-in yesterday, and one of the things we were talking about is the experience and development you get so quickly. When I started with the state auditor's office, when I was in Greenville, I worked on university audits for 5 years, and that is it. That's all I worked on. Just at the time, that's how it was. But now, when you come into the state auditor's office, even as a staff auditor one, you may work on a university, you may work on a state agency, you may work on a performance audit or the IMV division, and you're getting experience in so many different areas within the office. That just also opens a lot of doors for development, whether here or if you wanted to move on somewhere else.
Tina Bell, Deputy Auditor in charge of the Finance Division of the Office of State Auditor, one of the true professionals in state government across the state of North Carolina, an absolute professional who knows what she's doing and is working every single day on behalf of the taxpayer in North Carolina. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your work in the Office of State Auditor. It's an honor for me to be able to work with you every single day.
Thank you for the support that you've given the office and our division particularly. Thank you.
All right, Let's Add It Up with State Auditor Dave Boliek. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back again real soon with another episode of Let's Add It Up with State Auditor Dave Boliek, keeping watch over your tax dollars all across the state of North Carolina.